Wait, what? Former Kick staff says what we all knew. Staff was dropping hard R's casually in the office. Wait, what? Ex-staff, why I had to leave Kick?
For those of you who don't know who I am, which is probably 99% of you, my name's Melissa and I was previously employed by Kick and Steak. There's been a couple of controversies recently that I've posted on my Twitter just in regards to how they've treated me since I left. Not only did they send me a cease and desist, which I'll go into in a second in regards to this tweet or here, but they've also been lying about the fact that I was fired when I quit. So I posted this post with my resignation letter in it. Now, when I talk about them lying about me being fired, I'm not talking about an entry-level exec or some account manager. I'm talking about the CMO of both Kick and Steak, the guy that approves all the contracts. He's the head of the affiliate team for Steak. He runs the social media team, but pretty much everything runs through him. But they do employ people purposely that are completely okay with unethical behavior. Even so much as to walk past the socials room, the guys that run the, Kick streaming and Kick community, and hear the N-word just dropped. Hard R. And I'm like, what is this office? How? And they had the executive, like the upper management was in.
Shocking. Who could have thought that that this was happening? First of all, they're literally paying streamers to defend saying the N-word anyway, or they're paying streamers who are defending saying the N-word anyway. What I want to know is what kind of marketing initiatives they engaged in. Did they pay those blue checkmark Twitter accounts to do ads for Kick in general, or maybe even attack Kick's enemies, perceived enemies? That's what I would want to know.
I even remember seeing a couple of people in my team laughing because they were deliberately misgendering transgender streamers. How do you function in that environment?
You literally told Vice President Train to be careful not to go down this path to his face. Once again, you were correct, but just too early. At that point, I wasn't even correct too early. I was just correct. And people were getting the bag to not see it. And so instead of, heeding my warnings, they chose to disassociate, alienate myself and my community and cast me out as a social pariah. And a couple years down the line, we are now looking at a situation where every single person still carries on those resentments, by the way. Their communities still carry those resentments. The Hassan is a snake type. And yet people now also recognize that maybe I was right. Just won't say it. Maybe they don't even know why they carry that resentment. They've just been conditioned into being yeah, that guy sucks. His opinions are wrong. Nope, they weren't.
So my daughter started school in February, and every second week I needed to pick her up. So I would get in at around 9:30 after dropping her off. I wouldn't take any breaks or have lunch, and I would leave by about 2:30. It's important to note that a lot of staff members work from home, and we absolutely didn't have a stringent office working environment where we couldn't actually access information outside of the office. Especially my team, where we had to work 24/7 because we were the POCs for a lot of partners overseas. So it was very normal to work from home anyway. And all I needed to do was work from home for a couple of hours at the end of the day to pick up my daughter every second week. You can imagine it was a surprise to me when the manager of the partners team, yes, the same guy that has been going around spreading lies about me, sat me down and just flat out said that my flexible working arrangements would be revoked effective immediately and I need to find alternatives.
I got for saying Kick will only last as long as Eddie's willing to call it an advertising expense for Steak. It was doomed to fail from the start. No advertisers running on Amazon IVS, no organic growth, have to hire people to come. It was doomed. Yeah. Here's the thing, everybody. Ultimately, the same test exists for Kick as it does for every other streaming platform. Would people go there and voluntarily stream there for free? If the answer is no, then there is no long-term commitment to growing the platform. I said this about YouTube at the time as well. If YouTube wanted to, they could genuinely create a massive competitor to Twitch. They just don't care about deploying enough resources in that direction. They care about short form content, so Twitch lucked out in that front. But for Kick, it was never slated as a genuine competitor to Twitch. It was just created because you could no longer advertise Steak on Twitch. Sorry, but this is wrong. Kick is genuinely thriving. I like a lot of creators that move there and they're cleaning it up. Currently, I'd say only about 85% of the streamers there are Nazi kid diddlers. They're making progress. Yeah. Twitch is always at issues itself in getting people to the platform. They were pretty open about this pre-2016. They've always relied on big gaming releases. Kick doesn't have that draw. Well, it's a little bit different when the big draw you have is the next drop or something. You know what I mean? I'd rather have a platform have a bigger draw with gaming releases than new slurs being unearthed. It's like, hey, we found a new way. Guys, we found a new and unique way to distribute CP and accrue and aggregate and distribute CP. That's the big draw. Or a new slur at the slur factory. A new way to film yourself doing crimes. Additionally shocking that, you know, people who got the bag to stream there specifically defend it. Of course, doesn't mean that Twitch doesn't have its fair share of problems. Of course it does. It's just that, you know, at least it's not a platform that is genuinely trying to market itself as the place to go to when you get banned out of every other platform for doing sometimes crimes, like literal crimes. When the bag dries up, you will see what streamers truly feel about this platform. They won't say it while they're being paid, obviously, but when they are no longer being paid, you will hear what their true opinion was on the matter. Will anybody turn around and go, well, what the for years you lied to me about this shit? Probably not, because as streamers, we do have a very sycophantic audience for the most part, and it is one built around parasocial activity and parasocial behaviors. So, of course, just like what I mentioned, even though I was right about this kick from the jump, many people who carried that resentment because their streamers held that resentment don't even know why they are resentful now, but they still go along with it.
So the second incident that happened about 2 days prior to me leaving, which really solidified it, I walked out of this meeting, called my friend and was like, it's done. I'm done. I'm out of here. I cannot do this anymore. We were talking about the fact that they were trying to get a very beloved Twitch streamer over to Kick, to stream Steak as well. And God, it's horrible. And just for context, this particular streamer had been publicly battling cancer recently. So they decided to utilize that in their strategy to get this person over. The conversation very quickly became quite sinister. I'm going to say a quote, and something that I cannot get out of my head because it's so heinous to me. And I think it will speak volumes in, you know, the type of characters that work there, which is why I had to get out. The quote that I remember hearing was, we can get her on Kick streaming Steak for a relatively low price because she probably thinks she's going to die soon and she'll want to leave more money for her family. When I heard that, I actually was surprised. I looked up in surprise. And everybody else was sort of looking at this person that was speaking and just being like, yeah, you know, that's true. Let's go with that. Like, I think we can get this person. And I remember getting really hot after that. Like, I just felt like I was in hell and I was talking to the devils and I was talking to demons. Like, and
honestly, that is like, when you think about it, I feel like that kind of like bloodless opportunism is like somewhat expected from any kind of corporation, I guess. It's demon shit. Pretty gross. And I don't know what else to say about it. This is not an excuse for Kick or Steak, obviously, but it is literally a crypto gambling casino that created this live streaming service specifically to continue doing marketing for their crypto gambling casino, which provides a service like unrestricted access from your computer without very significant regulation or protections.
they don't care about on the platform. Like this guy right here, I had to fight tooth and nail to get this guy off. This is something I went into detail in the other video, but yeah, fought so hard to get this guy off, and he told two 14-year-old girls that he wanted to do something sexual to them, and he even included their age in the proposition. I mean, if you haven't seen the video, it's so heinous, it's so wrong, and the fact that everyone there could watch it almost with a grin on their face. There were staff members who were defending it, saying that it was a joke. That was actually one of the first times I was like, I have to walk away. If this guy stays on the platform, I have to go. Before I got there was no verification process for if somebody was underage. And it's so funny because by the time I left, me and compliance had put together a process, and because I was pushing it so hard, I'm like, we cannot allow anybody under 13 to stream. Now, nobody knew this, by the way, because I guess when you copy Twitch's TOS verbatim and then you just get some random guy in the office to change, you know, the wording, none of the staff know the terms of service. So a lot of people were just like, nah, she she can stream even if she's 6 years old because, you know, she'll have her dad near her or whatever. And it's like, no, that's actually not the case. She cannot be on the platform and she cannot hold her own account. Funnily enough, when I left, I was like, okay, good. The child safety part is pretty much done. They have a process now in place, and I'm pretty sure there's no need to allow children on the platform, because what market are you trying to capture? You already have on the platform. Are you just trying to like appease them? Like, what's the point? I still don't know, because I saw this tweet about 2 or 3 weeks ago where a prominent staff member is promoting on Twitter an 11-year-old boy who...
What the This kid's been hustling all weekend, dows with a solid family at his side. Check out when he fires up on Kick.
Year-old boy who, whilst I was there, I was the reason why this kid got banned. And I'm sorry to the child that, you know, that might upset you, but it's about your own safety. And especially on Kick, I feel like sometimes Kick should...
They're definitely going to get clapped by the FBI. Bro, the FBI's asleep at the wheel, dude. I think you got to understand, a lot of our law enforcement agencies, like even federal ones, are just like not really doing a lot of shit that you think they'd be doing. I mean, this platform straight up has like a shit ton of people that are serializing child, like distributing and generating CP. I don't know what else to say other than like that's insane. That's not just like cancel culture or whatever. That's just a crime.
This child was banned when I was there because, you know, I did have a zero tolerance towards it, because children need to be protected, not only against the people on the platform, but you need to protect children against being, you know, exploited by their parents, which you see on YouTube all the time. You need to protect children from people on the streams. Like if he got chatbotted, or, you know, a bad character came into his stream and started saying horrible things that you can only imagine, I would feel guilty for that. And who knows what that's going to do to that child.
Yeah, also, aside from the fact that he's streaming on a platform with like people who are literally distributing CP.
As he grows up. Ugh. God, it's I just can't believe these people. Anyway, so as you can see in the tweet, he's just promoting him. He's reinstated his account. The kid gets featured all the time and he's verified, and he's 11. And the reason I know he's 11 is because on his Facebook page that he used to stream on, it says, I turned 11 in Dallas. They just blatantly ignore their terms of service, which are in place to protect children from dipshit like this, that I, for some reason, had to fight to get off the platform. I'm sorry.
Thank gosh she's gone. She's the wokest employee I've ever seen. Good riddance. That's not wokeness. It's basic common sense on how to run a company. The company was built on free speech. The minor thing and the Jake Future thing were a bit far, though. I can't get mad at that. What? Oh, I guess it's a bit far for the CP you know, a bit far for what? The criminal justice system? Like, what are we a bit far for? Like, a bit far is when you have like an edgy content creator who maybe teeters along the lines, like who teeters on the edge. Like, that's a bit far. Letting someone back onto the platform after they've like been edgy or whatever. You can't say it's a bit far when you talk about like a person who is distributing and acquiring child pornography. That is not a bit far. That is insanely illegal. You should be in jail. You should be in prison. Having children stream on that platform on top of it is insane. I don't know how to describe it.
Streamers do have viewers that are likely to mortgage their house to stream on stakes. So that is the reason. And well, you know, what's a few for a few $1 billion. So anyways, thank you for watching. I don't know if this video is even going to go anywhere. I hope it does, because this is the only way that they're going to be held accountable. I also don't know what's going to happen to me because of this video. I don't really care if they sue me. I doubt Stake wants to be in a courtroom anyway, but...
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, if they tried to sue her, I don't know the litigation process in a place like Australia, but like ultimately so much. The HasanAbi paints his nails, Zoom clip, aged like fine wine. I'd rather watch you paint nails than kick streamers solicit and sell CP. Yeah. Do you guys have that clip? I want you to understand like the culture surrounding Kick for a second, where they would do like in the beginning when they were in their heyday, when they were celebrating their glorious W's, like bringing up all these like massive content creators with insane bags onto the platform. And I didn't even know about this. They were having like investor meetings or whatever. They would have meetings with like the executive team. And in those meetings, they were talking about me, which is insane to me. Oh, this is the one. This is
play devil's advocate. What other platform are you going to get finger painting lessons from Hasan? You know, this is content that only Twitch can offer the community.
Like, I think that guy is literally Travis Scott's manager. That's Eddie, right? That's Eddie, right? Stake. You have Train right there, Aiden Ross, Bruce Jobamoff. What the fuck are they doing? Like, this is supposed to be like a moment of celebration. Why the fuck are you bringing me up and finger painting his shit?
Yeah, I mean, it's
classes. We can also offer classes in socialism.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I've never seen a socialist that is, you know, that is probably matched up with America's top capitalists.
Point of order, quarterly financials. 2, tax returns. 3, Hassan Piker Instagram story. 4, employee layoffs. Like that obsessive, like actually obsessive,
Insane. In their pockets. So pretty wild world we live in here. But, as we know, the people are stupid. They can't see the truth until it's too late.
Yeah. Speaking of the truth until it's too late, I'm sure you guys have a clip of me warning Train about this years ago, but I don't know. It's out there.
But yeah, I mean, I think you bring up a great point, David.
A socialist that is bought and paid for by Jeff Bezos.
Pretty sure this clip is from literally days after the 4-hour long convo you had with him and X. Yeah. These dudes were literally bought by Kick, right? The content creators, I mean, Train was like one of the founders. These two are content creators that they had hired at that point. And this dude owns like Stake. I think he owns Stake and also Kick. This guy, I don't know what his like affiliation and involvement with Kick is. Aiden has a percentage.
And you generate hundreds almost of millions of dollars, maybe half of that now.
I get paid for exclusivity. I don't get paid off of others losing.
Totally, dude. Totally. Exactly. Also, on top of that, I do wish you well on Kick. I really do, because I want a competitor. I want a competitor to Twitch because I think that would make platforms overall better. But make no mistake, ironically, you started off talking about how you hated how much titty streamers or hot tub streamers and the meta was awful, and now you got on your platform. Now you got one of your main poster boys of Kick showing to minors. So maybe you now recognize the importance of moderation, especially as it pertains to an overall platform.
Wait. Let me respond to that. First of all, me going on rants about titty stream.
But in any case, of course, I mean, it got worse than that. It wasn't just like showing or whatever. It was also obviously like a hotbed for CP and Nazi shit. Here's the clip.
Main poster boys of Kick showing to minors. So maybe you now recognize the importance of moderation, especially as it pertains to an overall platform.
This was after you being charitable for 4+ hours, trying to re-explain every unfair question and pressure by the two, so you're semi-popping off here is satisfying. Yeah. This was this was edited down to 1 hour and 27 minutes by HasanAbi Productions. This is where Train Washed the meme comes from as well, this debate. You warned everyone in that video and Aiden Ross himself about so many things. Yeah. Aiden Ross, I warned many times over about not going down this path of like being a fucking Andrew Tate writer, and now he's going to turn into this like right-wing demon. I tried personally reaching out to him many times over, and now he is like, I mean, now he is so far gone at this point. I tried. My online streaming career is filled to the brim with these kinds of moves, with like ton of people every step of the way either saying I'm being not harsh enough on these guys because I'm cloud obsessed, members of my own community that leave because they're like, you're so cloud obsessed, you're not being hard enough on these dudes, and then the rest of those communities becoming like incredibly anti me because I'm calling them out. How dare he call out my favorite content creator? My favorite content creator hates him now, so I hate him as well. So if you're wondering like why I have so many haters, like this is part of the reason, because I was right often, okay, and consistent often. What is this?
Violence. I mean,
hate speech is part of that.
Call to actions or the pseudo call to actions are really bad.
Freedom of speech to justify their hate. It's disgusting. It's completely disgusting to pervert like the boundaries of freedom of speech and to try and justify the.
I know a lot of people in the community hated how you were not hard enough to X, though I do think you were hard on X. Yes, there were a lot of people who were like trying to find reasons as to why I wasn't being hard enough on XQ. It must be like some secret reason. Type Nazi in the transcript.
People come over thinking free speech means hate speech. That is not the case. Do you understand?
Well, that's usually why. That's usually why they do that. It's like a disingenuous way of framing it. Every platform has, even 4chan has like some speech restrictions on even poll. It's a normal part of the process of like regulating any sort of forum or any sort of place where people congregate. But a lot of Nazis will often utilize that as a reason.
I think hate speech should never be allowed, but I do sometimes I feel like sometimes people are personally misconstruing what is a freedom of speech to try to extend it to whether it's guys, that's hate speech, ban it.
They pervert freedom of speech to justify their hate. It's disgusting. It's completely disgusting to pervert like the boundaries of freedom of speech and to try and justify the use of hate speech. It's completely disgusting, and I see it happen all the time.
Technically, hate speech is protected under under free speech, just for the record. In the United States of America, at least, it's just that private platforms oftentimes have a different level of restrictions, which is understandable. Like I said,
yeah, by hate speech, I'm referring to the speech that brings like harm to others.
Violence.
Yeah, hate speech is part of that.
Call to actions or the pseudo call to actions are really, 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 really bad. I mean, I think we can agree on that. That's just bullshit.
Train, read the Wikipedia page for socialism before you come.
If you want to influence someone and change their mind, you can't just yell at them and talk. People don't respond well to that. In most cases, will retaliate. The way you speak to them is fine. It doesn't matter because both of these people are now firmly within, you know, they're Kick streamers or play a significant role on Kick. They get money from Kick and Stake both, and it is what it is, I guess. I'm thoroughly defeated, dude. I have so many moments like this that have created so much anger and resentment towards me by people who don't even know where that comes from. But I mean, it was conciliatory at the end. Not that they followed through on it. Do you regret doing it? No, of course not. I just don't know how else to deal with it. Like, no, I'm not going to stop. I don't know how else I would demonstrate my convictions. Most of your W's come like 3 years later. Yeah. It'd be really great if you had someone in your corner and things like this. No. Dude, listen, coming in my defense in moments like this puts you in the crosshairs of some of the most like diehard, rabid cult-like fan bases that will stop at nothing to make your life I'll never forget when XQ said it was suspicious that you were always on the good side of issues, Lamau. Yeah.